Hello guys, welcome to your channel DPI Kai, your solution architect. In today's video, we will cover the topic of SQL, in which we will be learning what is SQL, what is a database, when is the SQL used, and in the end we will covering that who uses SQL in their day-to-day life. So let's start. So firstly, we need to understand what SQL is. So SQL stands for the structured query language. So basically, it is used to store, manage, and retrieve data from our databases. And to retrieve the databases, we need to communicate with, retrieve the data from the databases. We need to communicate with the database so that we can get the exact output. So there are, so SQL helps us in facilitating and solving the issue to communicate with the databases specific to relational databases. So in the coming videos, we will covering that what all kinds of databases are there, but SQL helps us to communicate with the relational databases. For example, in your day-to-day work, let's say you need to find uh, customers all over from India from your line entries. So what you will do in this case? You can't just say, hey database, give me the customers from India. So that is what the SQL solves. We can write a structured query that can be used to retrieve that information specifically from a database. And that common systems to do this is MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, and Oracle. So now we will covering what is database. So in this video, I'm specifically talking about the SQL databases, not the NoSQL databases. In the coming videos, we will understand NoSQL also. So don't get confused. So basically, database is nothing but a core system for data management, where the data is stored. So as the data is stored, so let's say you are storing it in form of rows and columns, which in the end results in a table. So rows represents the individual data entries, whereas fields or columns contain the attributes of the data. In the end, these combination of fields and records or columns or rows becomes a table, which is a structured data storage unit in the SQL databases. And the practical example, you can see that all the modern applications or ERPs or any kind of softwares, they use as a database as backend for data storage, retrieval, or any kind of process related to data. So let's understand when is SQL used. So basically SQL is used to data store and retrieval purposes. When you need to store or retrieve any kind of data from a database, then SQL is used. Also, it can be used to merge multiple large data sets. And in the end, you can use for data analysis and reporting functionality also. It gives a good function flexibility. If you want to make a specific analysis over the data, you can query the type of data you need from the database and you can work upon the reports. And as I also said, that all the ERPs or any kind of website or modern tech tools uses the SQL database as their backend for storing, retrieval, or any kind of data related processes. Also, SQL can be used to automate the pipelines and dashboards. For example, if I am making a Power BI dashboard, so I can make its backend using SQL, using data manipulations, etc. In the coming videos, we will see how these kind of things works. So our last topic, that who uses SQL. So although there is no limitation, anyone can use SQL, but in the industry majorly these four players use the SQL. For example, a data analyst. If a person is working as a data analyst, it is very common that he will be needing the data and working on the data processes. So SQL is their day-to-day cup of tea. And another aspect of data analyst is business analyst, who needs to make decisions over the data and need to understand that how is data working, and they need to make a business decision to that. So SQL is used for multiple data analysis processes for that. And also developers, as I said, that all ERPs, websites, etc. are working, and their backend is on SQL for data storage and retrieval. So yeah, all developers work. And data engineers also work a lot on SQL, and depending on their tech stack like PySpark or any other tool they are working, but SQL is like they need to work on daily basis. So thank you. Hope you got the solution, and I am able to make you understand that what SQL is. Stay tuned for the next video.